Guys, welcome back to a brand new story. Today we have a story of a bully that goes in and destroys this kid's Minecraft world, but the kid gets revenge, and the revenge is pretty great, so you definitely want to stick around and see how that goes. So yeah, subscribe if you're new, leave a like for your free nothing, and let's jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Henry. So anyways, Henry ran a Minecraft server with him and his friends. If you don't know, Minecraft is a fun game. It's the game you have on in the background, and what you can do is you can make Minecraft worlds that other people can join and play with you. Honestly, playing with other people on Minecraft makes it the most fun, in my opinion. It's what makes it the best. And yeah, Henry and his friends had a Minecraft server where they would go on and they would literally spend hours on a Friday night and Saturday morning just making really big builds. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you can build some really impressive and some really big things in Minecraft. And Henry and his friends would literally spend hours on hours on hours putting together these bases and these builds, and they would make massive, really intricate structures. This is something that they did for months. And eventually, Henry would start to invite more and more people on, and more people would be able to get, invited to the server so that they could also go on, and they could build really cool stuff, and it was overall just a really cool thing. However, there was also a bully in Henry's class. There was a kid that no one really liked. I mean, he had his henchmen or whatever, but people just kind of knew this kid as the jerk, right? Because this kid was the jerk. He just wasn't a good kid, right? He was kind of just a jerk. He would go on. He would mess with people. And the thing is, right, the bully knew about Henry's Minecraft server, right? Because it was starting, word was low-key starting to spread around the school about how this kid had this really awesome Minecraft server, and they were making the craziest builds ever. Oh my god, they were, the most intricate houses, that all this work was put into it, and it was, Henry and his friends were starting to garner a bit of a reputation around the school for being able to put together a really cool build. But anyways, the bully heard about this, and he was just not having it, right? The bully was I can't have someone else having, something, I need the attention on me. So the bully thought about it for a while, and he eventually came to the conclusion that the best way possible to get revenge, and also just to mess with these kids, right? Just to screw with these kids, one of the best ways to do it would be to mess with the thing that mattered so much to them, right? To mess with the one thing that got them all this popularity in the first place. So the bully talks to one of the people, there's this one guy in Henry's Minecraft server that one second, I jumped the gun. So this kid goes up to Henry one day, right? This is where the story really begins, and says, hey man, I've heard about your Minecraft builds. I like building as well. Can I get an invite? And Henry has no reason not to whitelist random people, right? So anyways, he asks for this kid's account. He gives him the number or whatever. And he's like, also, can I have my friend join? Henry's like, who's your friend? And this kid says the name of another kid in Henry's class. And Henry's like, oh, I actually like this kid or whatever. 2 hours later, Henry logs on. His entire world is destroyed. It is literally just craters where TNT was placed. Every single house has been obliterated. Henry immediately calls up his friends. They're already talking or whatever. They're like, oh my god, what happened? They get a call. A lot of them are freaking out because I get it. You're probably saying, dude, it's just a video game. It's not that deep. They're all kind of freaking out at this point because, the base that they spent so much time working on, all the builds that took forever, right? At this point, it's all been destroyed. And you might be thinking, well, don't they have saves of the world or whatever? No, there's no real way to go back in the history unless it's a real server or something, or you do, I don't know. If there is a way, Henry either didn't do it or doesn't know how to do it, and none of his friends do. So for the sake of the story, right, for the sake of this thing I was told, they had no idea how to get it back. And so it was all gone. Months and months of really hard work was all gone. So what ended up happening here? Basically, the kid that asked Henry, as I told you about a minute ago, the kid who asked Henry for an invite was not actually doing it for good reasons. This kid was friends with the bully. And this kid also knew that, Henry would never willingly invite the bully, right? He would never willingly be like, oh yeah, I'll invite this kid who I don't like onto my Minecraft server. So this kid decides to pretend like this account that he wants to be whitelisted to the server is of one of Henry's friends in his class. But this account is not for one of Henry's friends in his class. This account is actually the bully's account. So somehow, right, they get in, And I don't know exactly how they do it, but they somehow get like access to the server or something. I think Henry must have like left some kind of loophole open or some kind of command open, because Henry didn't expect anyone to like join and try and do damage. They were just trying to build or whatever. So when like this kid was added, I think everyone was in creative mode in the first place so that they could build easier or whatever. So when this kid was added, maybe they didn't even need to hack in or anything. I think he was just immediately in creative mode. So the bully immediately went to work. He placed down like so much TNT, he would set fires, he would manually break blocks, and after about 30 minutes, 2 months worth of work completely down the drain. I don't know exactly how Henry figured out all these details. I think people told him, plus just figuring it out. So at this point, Henry and his friends were defeated. Something they worked so hard on, something that they spent so much time like putting together and really putting really putting themselves out there, really putting all the work in, that the class bully came around and ruined it for all of them. Really just came in here and made life difficult. However, but Henry and his friends were like, well, what are we going to do about this? And apparently, like, the bully was already telling people about how he blew up their world and how it took them 2 months to build it and 30 minutes for him to take it down. And word was spreading pretty fast. So Henry and his friends, they started to get a little mad because they knew that the bully was just doing this for attention and because he thought it was funny. But it wasn't funny. They spent so much time doing it. They spent, not years, but they spent months, man. Not months straight, but every weekend, Friday night, Saturday morning, for like 5 hours each time for months, they would spend building. And all of that time, was ripped away. Sure, all the memories they still had or whatever. But at the end of the day, still had their memories from it. The thing was, everything was destroyed, and word was getting around fast that the bully wrecked the whole thing. So Henry and his friends got together in a Discord call or some kind of group call, right? And they decided that, the only right thing that they could do at this point was to get revenge. Because you know what they knew? They knew that the bully himself had his own Minecraft world, his own server that him and his boys spent all this time working on as well. So it would only be fair, an eye for an eye, right? It would only be fair if him and his friends did a little bit of trolling in the bully's Minecraft world, and that is exactly what they did. The thing is, though, it's going to be kind of hard to go about this because, they're going to have to find a way to break in. They're going to have to find a way to get access as well. And the thing is, right, Henry is kind of defeated at this point because he's in the call with his friends. And then he says, like, guys, I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, how are we going to get in? Like, there's no way he's going to let us in. There's no way we're going to, find a way to break in. And that's when one of Henry's friends says, I don't know. And he names this kid who we're going to call Ben. He's like, I know Ben, who's friends with the bully and who has access to the bully's Minecraft server. I know he just, I don't think he likes the bully anymore. I think that they, had some bad blood or something. Probably the bully was just, making fun of Ben or whatever, and he just, had enough or something. So, basically, Henry's friend is like, hey, let's talk to him about giving us, secret access to the server, and then we'll go and do a little bit of trolling, right? Do a little messing around, right? So, anyways, Henry's friend talks to Ben, and they have a big, long discussion. And apparently Ben is very much fed up with the bully. He can sympathize with, how they're feeling. Because, Ben is, a Minecraft guy. And he's done a bit of building himself. And he understands how much work went into the buildings. And kind of, how bad it was that the bully went through and destroyed all that stuff. Just because, it took them months to do. And he destroyed it in the span of, 20 minutes. So Ben's like, yeah, you know what? I'll help you cause a little chaos. I'll help you cause a little, mischief. Just don't get me involved, man. I'm just not trying to have any slack from this kid. So anyways, the Ben, who is, also perms on the server or something, it whitelists both Henry and one of his friends. So Henry and one of his friends join. And the thing is, right, there's always a bunch of people on the bully's Minecraft server. So you might be thinking, oh, what if the bully hits tab and checks all the people in the server? Well, that's actually not going to be an issue. Because, there's so many people and, Henry's username isn't, Henry from school, right? It's just, some, I don't know, butt eater 28. Okay, maybe that's not his username, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So they both log in. They're both whitelisted. And Henry, because they're both in creative at this point, Henry goes in and he gives himself and his friend an invis pot. If you don't know what an invis pot is, it's an invisibility potion. You sip it, and for 3 minutes or something, or however long the potion goes for, nobody can see you. So at this point, Henry and his friend are completely invisible in the bully's Minecraft server, and they're about to do a little bit of trolling. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Minecraft down below. That'll be the secret word of the day, and I'll try and heart as many comments as I can that say Minecraft. And also, if you want to support the channel, literally the best thing you can do is go ahead and watch my older videos after this one. A really easy way to do that is through my Storytime playlist. Check the link in the pinned comment down below, and it's just a playlist of all my old stories. Let me know in the comment section, too, if you're watching my old stories, how many of them you've watched, so I can say thank you for supporting the channel. Leave a like for your free nothing, subscribe if you're new and like stories, and let's get back into it, because Henry and his friend are about to get some revenge on this bully. Anyways, so they're in the bully's Minecraft server, and they have their invis pods. So right now, they're completely invisible. And they see the bully is building something. He's currently building, I don't know, some part to his big house or whatever. So at this point, Henry kind of flies over, completely invisible, and he sets something on fire. And the bully looks up. He's like, oh, shoot. So he goes to put it out. And that's when Henry goes to the other side of the house and sets something on fire. Because the exterior of the house is made of wood, which in Minecraft, if you light the wood on fire, it'll start to burn down everything. So that's when the bully just happens to be going around to the other side of his house, and he sees half the house is on fire. The bully quickly goes, pours water on it, extinguishes it by hand, and he's just thinking to himself, what is possibly going on? Because if you don't know, if there's a lava pool, stuff in, near something in Minecraft, it can catch on fire. So all Henry really, or the bully really thinks is someone had a lava pool inside the house and it was setting it on fire. So the bully goes inside the house. And that's when, that is when, they decide to do a little bit of trolling. If you guys don't know about the Wither in Minecraft, basically, there's this mob, or this kind of, this boss in Minecraft. You put 3 pieces of soul sand across in a row, you put 3 Wither skeleton heads on it, and it turns into this flying monster thing that'll destroy everything in its sight. So what Henry does, Henry and his friend, while completely invisible, because remember, the bully's now inside trying to look for a lava pool that was quote-unquote burning down his house. They set up 10 withers. And immediately at one point, because they set 2 heads on each of them so that they can quickly run down the row and place the final head. And basically, so Henry and his friend are in a Discord call, and they're like, 3, 2, 1. And once they say one, they quickly run down, and each of them place 5 of the final wither heads. So all of a sudden, 10 wither notifications go up on screen. So I'm sure the bully's freaking out at this point. Because, even when you're in creative mode, killing the wither is still really hard. And by the time, they will do a ton of damage. So right now, there are 10 withers going around, just blowing the house up. The house is being eaten apart by these withers. And right now, the bully's in creative mode. And it's at this point, Henry sees him type in chat, withers, withers, someone spawn withers. Come help me fight them, right? So now everybody in the server goes to the bully's house. And at this point, Henry and his friends decided to go to all the other houses that were being built. And what they did was they built, they dug down into the floor and they placed all this TNT. And then they had a very sneaky wooden pressure plate that they put where someone would walk in and would ignite the TNT. So basically, they did this under all the houses. And they were really trying to be as incognito as possible, just to make sure that, they did enough trolling. They did a little bit of trolling. So they're continuously drinking their invis pods to make sure no one can tell. At this point, the bully thinks that, he's finished it all. He thinks that he has, gotten rid of all the withers. He's typing in chat, who did this? Who did this? Who's doing this? And all the guys are like, I don't know. No one really knows. The bully, it would have made a lot of sense for the bully to now go through the list of players online and eliminate anyone he didn't know. But he didn't even think to do that. He thought one of his friends was just being a butt. He's like, if you guys do it again, you will be kicked from the server or whatever, right? So then all the people, they walk back to their houses, right? All the bully's friends walk back to their houses. And one by one, they're stepping in, they're walking into their houses, and they hear a click. And then they hear a sss, and all of a sudden, they realized that they messed up. And you see that, chat is starting to light up with, who blew up my house? Who put the TNT in here? There's a pressure plate. And then you see warnings in chat, don't go into your house, don't go into your house. So yeah, only about 3 of the 12 houses survived, because 3 people saw the warnings in chat before that was able to happen. And yeah, eventually the bully and his friends realized that the 2 extra people online should not have been were not their friends, and, were blowing up the whole place. So pretty quickly, Henry and his friend gets banned after they blow up 10 of the 13 houses or whatever I said earlier, right? And the next day in school, the bully comes up to them. And I guess the guy, like, I don't know, I guess Ben must have, like, spilled or something. And the bully's like, bro, we've been working so long in those houses. Like, how dare you blow them up? How dare you come into my world and burn them and set them on fire and put the withers in there? You know how much time we put in? And Henry's just looking at him. He's like, bro, you do know who I am, right? Like, you do know who I am. And the bully's like, bro, no, I've never seen you in my life. The thing is, right, for some reason, the bully has completely forgotten that it was Henry's Minecraft server, the one that he blew up. And all of a sudden, right, the bully just has, like, this look of realization on his face. And that's when he realizes that it was Henry's Minecraft server that he completely destroyed. This was the kid. And in fact, all Henry had done is gotten his sweet, sweet revenge. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click